Today we'll start one more new topic. Yesterday we have discussed the last topic as polymorphism, okay, which consists of two parts. One is method overloading and the second one is method overriding. Method overloading in the sense we'll use the same method name with different arguments. If you use like that, this is called as method overloading, so that we can achieve different types of things. But the main thing, if you want to recognize here, is if you use print name with no arguments, it will call this method. If you use print name with some arguments, it will call this method. Okay, depending upon the situation, we will use the methods. Okay, on a high note, same method name with the different arguments is called as method overloading. Let me write one more method for method overloading. If I call the method now, I am calling the third method, it will call this method, this particular method. As you can see in the particular output, you can see name is Vidya, name is Sandhya, and you can see at the end it is calling this method which prints these two values. Okay, please do it for 1 minute. After that, I will go ahead with other topic called method overriding. If you want to understand method overriding, you want to understand inheritance. Okay, please see this for 1 minute. I will go ahead with that. Okay, let me go ahead and explain about inheritance concept so that you will understand method overriding. Okay, inheritance is also one of the OOPS concept. I would like to create a normal class and with normal methods. If I want to execute, I want a main method, I want to initialize the class in order to call the method. By using this, it's a normal Java program calling a method. Just if you want to run it, run as Java application. In the same way, let's create other class. Same way, create a method, any methods of your choice. If you want to call this, you need to call by an instance name. If you want an instance name, you need to initialize the class. Let's run it and I will show it to you. You can see if I run it, you can see subclass method got executed. But I want to extend some properties of this class. I want to extend the properties of this class. Generally, I will explain a classic example. We will inherit all the hereditaries from our parents. Okay. Likewise, if any class want to inherit some of the methods, some of the variables from other class, what hello? Deriving the methods. Methods means these things. Methods and variables. Okay, that is called as inheritance. Superclass means which is giving us the providing us the properties. Subclass which inherits the properties. Properties means those methods, variables. Okay. If you want to inherit the properties, you want to use one keyword called extends. And whatever the class which you want to inherit the properties, you want to give the class name. Okay. We want to use the keyword called extends. We want to use the class name which we want to inherit the properties. Now, once we have done this, we can easily use this method which is there in the superclass. In the superclass, there is a method called method name. I would like to use this method here. You can go ahead and straightforward use that method name directly, okay, without creating any instances for that run as Java application. You can see superclass method and subclass method got executed. Both things are printed. Okay. In the same way, let me create some variables here. Have used some variable. I have assigned some 100 value to that variable A. I'm using printing the value A in this method of subclass. That means whatever the method which is there in superclass, whatever the variable value which is there in the superclass, simply we can inherit by using extends keyword. We can call it by the names and variables so that we can easily use those methods. Although the method definition is not initialized here. This is called as method definition. Basically, we haven't initialized anything here in this, but still we can call by using these things. That is, the topic is called as inheritance. Okay, any doubts? Okay, please see for 1 minute. I will switch between the classes. Okay, so that if you have any questions, ask me. This is super class. Your main concentration should be on subclass. This is subclass.
Rakesh, this is Vijaya. I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So in superclass, you have defined the variable as global variable, right? Class in A as 100.
Yeah.
Does it have to be a global variable? Can it be inside the method, like inside the sub method, and still be called into the subclass? You know what I mean?
Didn't get you. Could you please explain more?
So in class sub.java,
So, yeah, class sub.java. Okay.
yeah, in that you have defined the variable as the previous one, class SUP.
Super. Okay.
You have defined, yeah, so sorry, super. Yeah, in there you have defined the variable A as global variable, right?
Yes.
Does it have to be necessarily a global variable? If it is a local variable, will it still be can be still called into the class sub program?
Yeah, if it is a local variable also there is no problem, but the thing is we should call this method at that time. I will explain you.
Yeah, please.
Suppose I have declared a variable like this.
Yeah.
Till now I haven't done this. Let's see whether it is accessible or not. Maximum it will not accessible for inside methods. Yeah, we won't access local variables which is there in that, but what we can do is we can simply use the method name and do the required operations of that. Okay, like this. Suppose in this local method itself I am going to print here. If I obviously call this method name, it will also print. The local variable value also will be printed. You can see 100, 200 like that. Okay.
Thank you.
But you can use the global variables directly. Please see for 1 more minute. This inheritance is also a very good topic which is asked in interviews point of view. So many things which I have covered we won't be using in Selenium, but they may be covered in interviews. That's why I'm explaining. Okay, let's go ahead and explain about method overriding now. What I said about method overriding, same method name with same arguments. Why we want to go for method overriding? Because I want to use same method, but I want to implement different functionality. That means in some method I used to do sum operation. In some other method I used to do multiplication operation, but the method name is same. But if I want to call the same method name, how it will recognize? I have $1,000,000 question. Then what I have done is I have used a concept called inheritance, okay, like this inheritance concept, and I have created a method. Let me say that method public, any method, just I'm using the same method which we used, print name, or else we can call it as sum. Okay, this is a method which is I have defined in superclass. Likewise, I am using the same method signature or method definition, but I am changing it to multiplication operation. You can clearly understand this method will do multiplication, this method will do addition. Okay. Now, if I would like to call this method, what I would like to do is I would like to call by this. What is that? By this subclass instance name. Let me run the program. Run as Java application. You can see the sum is 600. That means 20 into 30 equal to 600. Okay. But if I want to call the superclass method, what I need to do is there is a keyword called super. Okay. What is that keyword? Super dot sum 20 30. If I use like this, then which method it will call? Subclass method or superclass method? Superclass method. Okay, run as Java application. You can see the sum is 50. After that the sum is 600. Like that it is printed. You can use multiplication here. Now run the program. You can see initially, since the value is same, both the things have same method name, same arguments. But if you use super dot, it will call the superclass method and it will execute these things. If you use general, if you call generally this thing, it will execute the subclass method. Okay, this is how we can implement method overriding with same method name with same arguments, but we can implement different functionality. In the interviews they will ask what is method overriding, then you want to say same method with same arguments. Then they will ask how do you implement method overriding, you want to say I will implement with the help of inheritance concept, so that I will inherit the methods and variables from the superclass to the subclass by using extends keyword. And after that, if I want to call superclass method, I can call by a keyword called super. If I want to call the subclass method, I can call by using its instance name. Like that you want to explain to him. Okay. Please see this for 1 minute. Method overriding concept. After that, I will go ahead with collections. Okay, let's talk about collections now. Previously, we have used arrays concept. Okay, I will show you the arrays concept. What it is showing? It is showing some array which have some defined size. If you increase some size, we are getting array index out of bound exception. Let's uncomment this. Let's run this. And it is getting array out of bound exception. Since the size is 2, it will accept only 2 values. In order to make sure all these things, in order to get rid of all the things, in Java there is a framework called collections framework, which we will use mainly three things like list, map, and set. Okay, these are the major things which we will use. In the list, there are so many lists: sorted list, tree list, like that. We will use array list. And in the map, we will use hash map. In the set, we will use hash set. Okay, when this list, array list, is used, why it is used in our Selenium also? Let me take an example. In our earlier classes, I said about HTML, right? Identifying the elements. Did I explain? HTML, identifying how to identify elements, browser inspector, Firebug, Firepath.
Yes, Rakesh.
Okay, at that time I said that identifying the properties like ID, name, class name, right? But unfortunately all the IDs, all the things are same. Then what you will do? You will use a list concept. You will take all the things in a list and you will get one by one by using the index. Okay, let me explain the syntax as of now. List, type, some instance name, equal to new. List also you can use, or else you can use the subtypes called array list directly. Anyways is fine. This is how we want to declare. Okay, let me use a list concept. I am using a type called string. Majorly we'll use strings only. All this there in java.util package. You need to import like this, java.util package. Once after finding this, we want to find the length. In arrays, we will find the length, right? Here we want to find the size. If you want add some elements, I am differentiating the arrays and array list. In arrays, the syntax will be like this. We want to define some size. We can't define some size here. And arrays are static memory location. Once we have added 2 values, only 2 values will be there. If you add one more value, it will not take. Okay, but whereas array list is dynamic memory location, we can add n more things like this. It will accept duplicates also. Okay, as of now take 3. And if you want to print, you can use same for loop int I equal to 0, I less than or equal to size, because size starts with 0, length starts with 1, so we used -1 here. Here what we are doing, here we are taking length starts with 1. That's why we are keeping -1, because array starts index with 0. But whereas the list starts with index 0 and size also starts with index 0, I am not using -1. I plus plus. If you want to get the value, you need to use a method called get. You need to use index I. Let me run the program, run as Java application. Oh, less than or equal to. You can see Rakesh, Vidya, Sandhya is printed. Okay. In the same way, I would like to add one more thing. Dynamically, I have added now, and I am again running it. I will not get any exception, because since I am using Arraylist, if anyone asks what is the difference between arrays and Arraylist, it is, you want to say it's a array is a static memory location, whereas Arraylist is a dynamic memory location in which we can use the method add to add the elements. And if you want to get, you want to use the get method, and you want to use the parameter of index. Index means Rakesh stored in 0, Vidya stored in 1, Sandhya stored in 2, Isan stored in 3. If I use get of 2 and I will run it, you can see only Sandhya is printed. That is what is there in second index. Okay. This is all about list. And now let's go to map. Okay, see for 1 minute, I will go ahead with map.
Rakesh,
Yeah.
I have a question. So when you ran the program previously, get of 2, str get of 2, it's supposed to print Sandhya once, right? Why did it print 4 times?
Because we used a for loop, right?
Oh, the size. Okay, okay, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you don't, yeah, let me comment this for loop. Sys out str.get of 2. Anything you want, you can take that. Run as Java application. Sandhya will print only once. Okay.
Yeah.
Previously, I used for loop.
Yeah.
Okay, this is how we can add elements dynamically. In Selenium, when there is all the properties which having same properties, we will take it as a list. Okay. How about now? Let's go ahead to map. Map is used at the framework level, like whenever we want to pass some test data of 500 test data, usernames, passwords. Generally, if we want to do that, we want to create 500 usernames, 500 passwords, 1000 variables. Okay. But if you create 1000 variables, there will be huge memory location. Okay. That's why in order to minimize the memory location, what they have done is they have used a map and they have introduced a key value pair concept. Okay. Key value pair concept. and they are storing all the thing in map. Let me explain with an example of credentials of type string. Majorly we'll use only strings only. Credentials equal to new hash map Then if you want to place the values, you need to use a method called put. All these methods are inbuilt, like valid username, Rakesh, valid password, yeah, invalid username, invalid password. Okay, these are the things which we will use. But if we want to store, it will be stored in 4 variables. This Rakesh will be stored, Vidya 1 variable, Sandhya, John 1 variable. That means 4 variables, it will create huge memory location. But whereas if you use map, it will be used only single memory location. But if you want to get the values, simply you go ahead, sysout, and whatever the thing which is there, credentials dot get of the specified key, whatever the key. If you want invalid username, go ahead and place the invalid username key and you will get it. Run as Java application, you can get John. Previously it is printing Sandhya list. Okay, let me comment this. Run as Java application, you can see John is printed. Okay, if you want valid password, simply call by its key name, so that with single memory location we are using different types of values. This is why in order to decrease the memory location we are using this concept, map concept. Okay, you can see Vidya now. See for 1 minute and ask me questions. Okay, let me say about set. Set is used in order to have unique values. The difference between the list and the set is list will accept duplicate values, set will not accept duplicate values. Like this, duplicate means already there is Rakesh, again I am adding Rakesh. Okay, and if I print the size, let me print the size earlier. Let me tell you, here I am printing size. Run as Java application. The size is 4. If I want to add, since there is 4 values, I would like to add one more value, Rakesh. Now I would like to run as Java application. You can see the size is 5 here. In the same way, we can add n more duplicate values. Let me add only one. Now the size will be increased to 6. Okay, in this way we can add duplicates. But whereas in set we can't add duplicate values. Let me add a set to the list to a set. Okay, let me create a set. You can use any instance name. Previously I said in order to add, just use add method, but if you want to add multiple values at once, that means in the list it consists of multiple values, right? If you add all those things, you can use add all method, okay, and use that list instance name. What is the instance name of the list? str is the instance name of the list. Okay, you can use that str so that all the things which are there in that list will be added. Okay, now let me print the size of the set. st.size. Let me run it now. You can see what is the size in set. It's 4. What is the size in list? It's 6. Why there is difference in the sizes?
It did not accept duplicate values.
Yes, set will not accept duplicate values. If it is there in any duplicate values, it will just remove them. Okay.
So is it like case sensitive Rakesh? If Rakesh is given in a smaller case, does it identify as a duplicate value or a same value?
Yeah, it won't accept because let me show you. str dot add yeah, it is case sensitive, case insensitive.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, this is for unique, this is for reducing the memory, taking the values by using key value pairs. This is for adding dynamic memory locations. Anyways, when we are using that, I will explain in Selenium. Okay. Okay, today this is the class. We have successfully completed all Java concepts which are required using in Selenium point of view and which are required at the interview point of view. Okay, maximum these things are to be used. If you have any issues, you can go ahead and send me an email directly so that I can answer you. And majorly exception handling is the important topic in interviews. Arrays is an important topic, polymorphism, inheritance, okay, and all these basics also you can touch up all these things. Tomorrow I will start up with the Selenium IDE, which is a record and playback tool. Make sense for all of you?